Musically.
Hello and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? Well, I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I hope your week is off to a great start. You know how I do. I hope y'all had a great week last week too, and you were able to peep that episode, right? Because October is Domestic Violence Month, right? So we're going to touch on that a little bit. But anyway, before I get into it, I got to do my spiel. I do see a couple comments already. Let's see who we got here. Leah Nicole. Hey, cousin. Thanks for joining me on today. I appreciate you. Then we have Fonda. Hey, Miss Fonda. How are you? Thank you for joining me on today. All right, boom. So we have another dynamic show lined up. People are already lining up in the studio. This studio fat tonight, y'all. It's going down. It's going absolutely down. But before I get into it, y'all know I got to do my spiel, right? So please tell a friend, like, share across all platforms. On YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period, right? Then on Facebook, come and join Relationship Soup Group. Listen, we're going to be getting heavy with some topics on today. These topics went crazy, okay? So we're going to be talking about that. So please join the forum, Relationship Soup Group. On Instagram, it's Relationship Soup. You can also follow me at Relationship Soup LLC. And don't forget your greeting cards for various occasions and holidays at relationshipsoup.com, right? All right, boom. Okay, I see y'all in here. Hi, Kamali. Thanks so much for joining me. You got the link. Come to the studio. You want to be in the studio? You got something you want to get off your chest? In the studio. All right, boom. All right, so I will be bringing some of my studio members on, some of my guests, because we definitely have some things to talk about. So thank you all for all of your support. We actually are on episode 49. And this one is entitled The Soup Group Speaks, Honest Conversations, Open Mic, and Real Talk. So this episode will be like several others where we're going to talk about stuff from the soup. If you have questions, concerns, whatever, put them in the chat, right? You want to come on? I've already put the link in there. Feel free to do that. All right. So one thing I want to do, well, let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out. Y'all know how I am with disclaimers. Look. I don't know what people may be talking about, okay? So Just if you feel offended by anything that's covered, feel free to log off. Okay, I won't be offended. All right, you can pick it up another time. Okay, so let's see here. Where do I want to go? All right, so you all know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Now, last week we actually aired episode 17, which was called Rising from the Ashes, a survivor's testimony of love, loss, and liberation, right? This was a very powerful episode. This episode featured Genesis Jones, who is with me tonight, who overcame the devastating impacts of domestic violence. She rediscovered self love and found liberation from an abusive relationship. Okay, so I will be bringing her on. And, I just want to send love and light to everyone who has been a victim of domestic violence, if you know someone that has been through it, because it definitely impacts so many people. All right, so I'm just sending everyone love and light. Um, and let's also remember that healing is very possible. Love should never hurt, and breaking free is only an act of courage, okay? Um, and you deserve it. You deserve to feel liberated. You deserve to be loved correctly. You are worthy. So just remember that, okay? Surround yourself with a support system. Find help. There's so much support out there. And I'll be praying for you all that are going through that, have went through that, and healing through it, okay? All right, and so let me go ahead and bring Genesis on. Hi, Genesis. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I cannot complain. I cannot complain at all. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. And I do actually have a question that I want to go ahead and put in the chat. Okay. Let me go ahead and put this on out there before Genesis and I continue our conversation. Right. And this question is, what's the healing process like for guys who've gone through domestic violence situations with someone in their inner circle? Okay, so
Okay. Now you did sound just a little choppy a
yeah, am,
second.
am I freezing? Am I doing that?
It just got a little light, and now you sound back again. But
Okay, that could be Verizon.
okay. I understand that. But were you asking what is the healing process for guys or
Well, yeah, one of the
what?
questions that are, what's the healing process like for guys who've gone through domestic violence? Because sometimes guys have homegirls or their sister, mother, aunt, you know, have went through domestic violence. So,
Yeah. Now
what?
I'm not a male, and I can say that male have. I think men may have it a lot worse than we are because they're supposed to have this image of the masculine and the tough, and oftentimes are shunned when they show their emotions. So and the mental health aspect of it, um, I don't I see more women actually doing that self-care for healing than men, or maybe men aren't speaking out about it.
Mhm,
So I can't speak for another male, but I do believe the process is still the same. It's a daily thing. And if it's a pattern, let's say you get out of one incident, you end up in another one, then
mhm,
it's really time to take a look in the mirror, um, to see what is attracting you to those types of things.
mhm,
And if you really are healed, and it is a daily journey. The healing process is daily. You may not even know um, how you feel or if you're fully healed until you see that person on the street one day, and then it's like, oh man, you're feeling all those emotions all over again.
mhm, mhm,
So I can't speak for the men, but I can definitely say that it is a daily uh, healing journey, and that's with anyone, even with any type of trauma, loss, anything.
mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And you are shining bright.
I ain't even put no lotion on today. This is
Hey,
just
girl. Hey, hey. That's that melanated beauty. I see you melanin.
okay. Okay, you be shining too now.
Girl, listen. When I tell you beauty for ashes, honey, beauty for
Yes.
ashes.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Hey,
Yes.
I appreciate
You
that,
can
sis.
go
I
ahead and
really
say I'm grateful that I don't look like what I've been through. And, we used to hear it back in the day, and it's true because you never know somebody's story, and when you look at them, And so as much as I can, I try to greet people with a smile. But you got that stone joker poker face, whatever they call it.
Hmm.
I did my part by at least trying to be pleasant, in passing.
Absolutely. You planted that seed. That's all that matters, right?
Yes,
Now, let me
yes.
ask you this, Genesis. What positive affirmation, what words of advice do you have for anyone going through domestic violence right now? Man, woman, whoever.
Um, I don't have my affirmation. I have a little book that I have read, and
Hmm.
it's not. I'm sorry, this is not a book. This is actually something I wrote down and what I had gotten out of, which was writing my thoughts and prayers out. So
Hmm.
it's a daily affirmation, but you can look up daily affirmations on Pinterest, on Google. You can go and read scriptures. It's about you constantly, you setting that goal to improve yourself, your inner self, and you sticking to it. So um, I can't honestly say that I have a daily affirmation. There's nothing that I read every single day.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
just be honest and say there's nothing. But to the people that are in it, um, I wasn't the one that was like a Tyler Perry movie or a Lifetime movie network. Now it was Mind Games like a Lifetime movie network, but I
Hmm.
fought back. So I wasn't getting drugged and drugged down the stairs and kicked all in the face. I fought back. So
Hmm.
just because you fought back, or don't never let anybody feel like it's your fault, because you shouldn't be putting your hands on anybody. Number one, it's really an assault charge. If you wanted to get technical about it, you can file charges on them for assaulting you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And um, never, it's a mental thing. And oftentimes we read all this stuff about narcissists and all this other stuff. Google don't have all the answers, but you either working from good or evil. And if you're trying to manipulate, you're trying to mind control, if there's confusion, then you know that it's not coming from a good place. All the listeners may not have, faith like I do, and I'm not trying to insult or say what
Absolutely.
good or
Absolutely.
shouldn't have. But if it's confusion, then it's not coming from the Lord. If you ask me, it's not the author of confusion. So no daily affirmations. And I've known people. I was one that went back several times, and it's
Hmm.
because I was really afraid to move forward. So don't be afraid. Change is never comfortable.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, you're not gonna do something that you've never done until you do something that you've never done. So you're not gonna get
Facts.
to another place in your life, whether it's on any type of on any type of level. Um, Change is never going to be comfortable. Don't feel guilty about it. Take a look in the mirror and make sure that you love yourself. And if you find in yourself you really love yourself, you would say, "Self, I deserve better." And that's what you have to do. That's where I was like, I deserve better. It's like having a wake up call, because you can go back, you can tell somebody till you blue in the face that they're not in a good relationship, and they won't leave until they get tired.
That's right. Hmm.
And so we
Hmm.
can hurt for them. We can wish, the best for them, but it's up to them to really make that choice.
That's very true. That's very true. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. I'm going to bring you back on, right?
Okay.
Got to pivot to a couple of other topics, right? But thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
I appreciate you and love and light to you always.
Oh, wonderful. Let me
All right.
go.
Stay around though. Don't go
I'm
nowhere.
right here. I'm
I mean,
watching.
unless you got to go somewhere. Okay. All
I'm not
right.
going nowhere tonight. It's Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. All right. All right. All right, boom. So look, I just want to give a disclaimer. That was me moving my glass a little closer. All right. So just had to let y'all know. All right, I see that there are some more comments. Let me go ahead and bring those on. V. Hey, hey, hey. Thanks for joining me. Miss Woodson, what's the science? I see you. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me tonight. Um, Derek, thank you for joining. Listen, we're gonna be talking about one of your comments tonight. Okay, so get ready. All right, get ready. All right. And so Leah said, snap, snap. I know, right? Gotta love Genesis. All right, y'all. So now let's go ahead and pivot to something. All right. So the first one I want to get into. Oh, my admin. Oh, thank you for joining me tonight. Listen, if you want to come in the studio, hey, text me. Let me know. I'm going to send you the link. Well, the link is already in the thread. Thanks for joining me tonight. Appreciate you. Okay, so boom. We about to get into a couple of topics from the group. Now, this is the first one. Let me go ahead and share my screen, y'all, because this one really got a lot of comments. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so here it is. Hopefully, you can see my screen. Ladies, is it safe for a man to be vulnerable with you? Why or why not? Okay, so that was the post. Okay, I'm going to share a few of the comments. I see y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to share a couple of responses. Okay, so Nikki says, for my man, absolutely. Right. So Derek says, you don't have any brothers, sons, cousins, uncles, etc. Do you go to funerals? Would you console a crying relative? If so, that's more than just your man. I think it should be, but shrug. Okay. So there's some dialogue there. All right. I also want to share a few more of the comments. And let's see here. Okay, so here's a few more. Absolutely, it's a sign of a real man who allows himself to be seen, heard, and in the moment. It's the best communication indicator there is, but he must also receive hers as well. Bev Bennett says yes, of course. Brianna says yes. Ariel says yes. And Chastity said no. She's like, no, it's not safe to be vulnerable. All right. So what I want to do, let's go ahead and get into this. Ladies, can men be vulnerable around you? Feel free to answer that in the chat. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring Nikki on for a minute. Miss Bonner.
Think you want
Hold on, should I say it in three, two, one?
Mhm. Nikki is smashing a taco bowl, but go ahead, girl.
Well, it's a Tuesday.
I
So
know.
so Nikki, how you feel? I know that we read your comment. How do you feel?
I said what I said.
Okay,
I think
that's fair. That's fair.
it's one time, one size fits all type of thing. And to
Mhm,
me, vulnerability is creating that deep and intimate connection with someone where you can navigate through life together. Not just, oh, I'm upset today and I need to, or like he gave examples of like, um, a funeral. Well, to be honest, if my brother is crying at a funeral, I am probably somewhere rolling on the floor. So I'm absolutely useless to him. So, but what he's talking about, and specifically is, can my brother pick up the phone and call me if something's going on? Absolutely. That does not
mhm,
make me his quote unquote safe place for vulnerability. I'm a safe place for vulnerability for my husband,
mhm, mhm,
to
mhm,
where we submit to each other. We submit that vulnerability to each other. We
mhm,
share those intimate, deep details of our emotions, our lives, our days. You know, there are things that he can say to me and that I can say to him that I wouldn't tell other people.
mhm, mhm,
So, using my brother as an example, there's a lot about my brother that I don't want to know. It's not my business, quite honestly.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
So that's how I feel about it. I said what I said.
Okay, and that's
You
fair. And that's
know,
fair.
like, right. I mean, but nobody has to agree with me,
Mhm,
but
mhm,
get to try to degrade me because you don't agree with me.
mhm, 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 mhm.
But I choose not to take on the responsibility of the world. I choose not, and besides that, like I had said in my comments back and forth with Derek, I'm not the only person in my family. Even still. And yeah, if my brother needs that kind of day in, day out, and he can't get it from his wife, yeah, he probably need to go sit on the lady couch. Because that's what I'm gonna tell him. That's what my mama gonna tell him.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. So let me ask you this, Nikki. Okay, so say as a single woman, right?
Mhm.
And we all have or have had our male friends who have been very vulnerable, right? What do you think about that?
Well, and again, I do have my close male friends
Hmm.
who are
We
like brothers,
share one. We share one.
right? And and they're like brothers to me. So But again, yes, they call me. I talk to them every week. They tell me about funny stuff, good stuff, bad stuff, and everything in between. However, again, there are details about their lives that I don't need to know and I don't want to know. So that to me is not a safe, vulnerable place because there's limits on it. When you talk about true vulnerability, there's no limits.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like it. I like it. That's fair. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So hold on. We got some comments.
Well, I want to say, stop, Leah.
Yeah, she's like, "Sup, Nikki?" And Leah says, "No, I will judge you later." So Leah, men can't be vulnerable around you. You gonna judge them, sis? You gonna judge them, cuz?
Well, I think that's fair because, when you just say men, what men are you talking about? You just talking about random men? Like, why would you want to be vulnerable with just anybody?
Absolutely,
It's going to be
absolutely.
selective with who I'm vulnerable with. Because as one of our shared male friends says, I know if I say XYZ to Nikki, I'm not going to hear somebody else say it 28 minutes later back to me.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Definitely. So let's see here. Agreed. Leah says, agreed. My husband can be vulnerable with me to some extent. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, some things you might need to go talk to a therapist about. I don't know. Like, so,
mhm.
I mean, I understand that. All right, all right, all right. So let's see here. There's a few more comments. We're going to move on to the next topic. Okay. This one got pretty heated. Well, not heated. It was pretty hot. All right, so let's see. Lamont. Oh, thanks for joining us tonight, Lamont. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Okay, boom. So I see that there's some more people coming in the studio. I'm gonna keep you on, Nikki. I'm gonna keep you on for a minute. Okay. All right. So I do want to share another topic that was shared in the group. Okay. Okay, boom. So this one is for the guys that got divorced. Do you think you will marry again? Why or why not? There were some men that were like, yes. Anthony Robinson said never. Dave Nave says it's really got to make sense. I think the man usually has so much more at risk in marriage. And if it does not work out at this point, she's got to bring a lot to the table to even consider marriage. Okay. So, all right. So that's kind of some perspectives right there. Okay. So what y'all think? Listeners, if y'all been divorced, right? You getting married again? What y'all think?
I did.
So did I. Well, no, I
So, well, and I feel like this. I will say this. I find that men who divorce are more reluctant. Stop it, Lisa. I can't take you nowhere.
well, listen, Nikki, I told you I was next. I'm just manifesting. Remember, every time I talk to you, what do I say?
So,
What do
yeah,
I say, Nikki? No,
listen,
no, no, no. Tell everybody so everybody don't think I'm.
I got your notebook. Lisa is, I just got married. Lisa is calling next. And I started
I'm
planning her.
next.
So we have a notebook. We got everything. We're planning it out. So it's going to be great. Probably going to live stream it.
Yeah, we gonna live stream it, right? We gonna live stream it. So I'm just speaking it into existence that I'm next, that I'm married.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's, that basically proves my point. What I found is that men are more reluctant to remarry, whereas women definitely want the, I wouldn't say definitely because there's always exceptions to the rules, but most women want to know they want to remarry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not immediately. I mean, it's been some time, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's eventually and what have you, but
hmm
most of the time after a divorce, if you talk to a man, most of them are like, I'll never get married again.
hmm
So,
Absolutely, absolutely. So Derek says, "Did you marry again, Lisa?" LOL. Your reaction? No, I didn't get married. Look, let me stop because I can see the DMs now. Damn, sis, you got married. You got married. For real, you married now. I ain't see no ring in the podcast. I hear it. You know what I mean? Hey, then I can see they be hitting you up, Nikki, because they know we cool. Hey, did Lisa get married again? No,
I mean, like,
I ain't get married. I'm just speaking it into existence. That's it.
Be like, listen, but I'll object for a low, low price of 1,500.
Listen. Okay.
You want me to talk her out of it? That's gonna cost you a cool 5 G's.
Absolutely. Put me in though, Nikki. I need I need a piece of that. Right. You know what I'm
I got
saying?
you. That's
All
it.
right. All right, Nikki. So this is what I'm gonna do. Let me go ahead and bring on one of these guests. Okay, stay around. Okay, but if you gotta go, it's cool. But stay around though, if you can.
Yeah, I might have to drop, but yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. If you have to drop, it's all good. Cool. All right. Thanks for joining me. Boom. All right. So let me see here. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me go ahead and add I ain't do it to the stage. So I'm just putting you on. Did you have a question? I ain't do it. You got to give me access to your camera. You got to give access to your camera. Hello,
You got it now?
hello. I can see
You
you
got it
now.
now?
I see you. Thanks for
Hey, how's
joining
it
me.
going?
I ain't do it.
You said, did I have a question?
Yeah. Oh, well, let me ask you this. Now, you've been married before, right? Or no?
No,
Okay. Okay. So
nope.
what did you think about that post in the group? Do you think what was your take on that?
Well, for that one, I just found it interesting. For me, it's kind of different because the fact that I've never been married. I
Hmm.
hear a lot of fellas who've been married once, even just once, saying that they'll never do it again, or if they do, it'll really have to be like it'll take a lot of trust. It takes a lot of faith on their part in order for them to do it again.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm thinking the reason that myself and other people, you can say you're being positive about it, whatever. For me, I think it's more the fact that I've never actually gotten that far. I've never actually done it. Now, I know some men who have been married who said they never would again, who wound up doing it, but it took a lot of teeth pulling. It took a
I ain't
lot for
pulling
them
no
fellas.
teeth. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna be
well, for some of them fellas, they used to be like the players and all that. So for them, there was a change when they decided to settle down with the one that snagged them, just to find out it was quote unquote, the wrong one. Even
pulling.
though I don't really believe in that picking the wrong one thing, I really feel like people kind of they pick who they really wanted until it doesn't go right. Then they'll say it was the wrong one.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's just like you have people who pick the same types and can't seem to notice where the common denominator is, so they just put it on all women, all men, all of whatever, they're part of the sex, instead of doing an introspection and saying, what is it about me that's not only attracting those, but being attracted to those?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
it may seem like a tangent, but I'm saying I've never been married, so I can't really answer that question. I'm quite sure, though, if I had been married and wound up getting divorced, I would probably be in the never again camp for a long time. Because even just being single and dating, for me, for somebody who's never getting married, and I used to always be a goal, I was always about family building and relationships.
Hmm.
And it's not like that as much anymore. When it is, you got a lot of people who have already, got that extra baggage. They went out and kicked it and had their fun when they were in their 20s. They get into their 30s and 40s. They've got baggage in the form of children, in the form of charges, in the form of money. A lot of different things that younger people who haven't had as much experience won't have those hangups.
Hmm. Hmm.
So at this age range, it's like, man, I don't even know if I want to be bothered because I've been pretty much, I feel like this. I've been a good dude overall. Period. You
Hmm.
can't find none of my exes who can say I dogged them out. Where there's one who will say it, but if you get the background story, you
Always
would know.
one. It's always
It's
that one
always
ex
one.
that just ain't gonna fall in line.
Okay,
It's
but then when
always.
I got 5 or 6 that'll say I was the one that got away. So you parse that out how you want to. But I say where it is now, it's hard to see. Like I would love to, and it would be beautiful if it works. But it's hard to see it right now. It's things are so crazy. People are so jaded.
Hmm.
They fight against dating. It's a lot, man. It really is, and you have to really be in the mind state, in the mood, in the mode. I ain't even gonna say healed because most of the people they talk at healing still, most people are not fully healed. They're healing. The most
Mm-hmm.
well-rounded people I say is healing, just like alcoholics will say, you know, I'm in recovery. I'm a recovering alcoholic. They don't say I'm recovered. So when you deal with stuff like love, I feel like it's the same kind of aspect. Nobody's ever fully healed 100%. There's always a percentage of things that could trigger you to go back the other direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for the man who say I'll never again, I can understand, especially if it was something involving the wife cheating. Because I know there were several women I talked to who told me that they cheated first.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of left the marriage because for different reasons they lost respect for the husband. The husband did not cheat first, they did. And it's, you
Yeah.
know, so those are things I can understand. If there was somebody called themselves being a good man, good husband, and to find that out, yeah, that's gonna go a long way. But
Yeah, that
again,
makes
somebody
sense.
who's never been married, that's my take on that one.
Okay, okay. You know I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you.
Hmm.
We have a comment. Vernon says, I could marry again. Got to be some terms and conditions. Oh yeah,
Oh,
V.
solid boundaries.
Oh yeah, V. Look, I sent the link. If you want to come on and talk about it, let me know. All right, all right, all
Yeah, come on up, brother Bernie.
right. Now let me ask you this, Derek, just to give you a
Uh-huh.
chance to respond, and then we're going to move forward. Um, so that post about vulnerability, is there anything that you want to add to that?
Of course, you know, I've got layers. So the
Hmm.
first one I'll say is that's one of those things, like, for example, the exchange that Nikki and I were having. I feel like
Hmm.
it's an understanding and a view of what people consider vulnerability to be. Like she was saying, she's not one who's going to be trying to be there every day for somebody who's not their husband. But a lot of times it's not that. A lot of times it'll be just for a man, it might be one triggering situation. Something happened, or they might want to vent,
Hmm.
or they might be fighting back tears or something. It's not that it's necessarily going to be constantly all the time, hey, won't you absorb up, let me fill up your bucket. It's not necessarily like that. But are you somebody who I can talk comfortably with too? It's like she said, I got male friends who they can come and say things and know that it's not going anywhere. I consider that a
Absolutely.
safe space.
That makes
If I
sense.
can
That
talk
makes
to
sense.
you and trust that what we're saying, if I say, hey, this is confidential, and I can trust that you're keeping that confidentiality, that's a safe space to me. So I think kind of what happens in conversations a lot is the definition. It's like Dr. Joy DeGroy says, people arrive at these conversations with different levels and varying degrees of experience and knowledge, but then there's also the understanding of the terms. You have to define the terms a lot of time to make sure we're all talking about the same thing. So you get those trigger
Absolutely.
words like gaslighting, submission, blah blah blah, high value, whatever. You have to really be vigilant to making sure that you're having the same conversation. So you're using the same definitions.
Hmm. Hmm. That makes
Because
sense.
for
That
me, I
makes
would
sense.
say I didn't feel like I was disagreeing with Nikki. I was kind of surprised when she was saying, "Well, no, if you're not my husband, you can forget it." I'm like, don't you have brothers or friends or so? So now that she's broke that down, I get what she's saying. Uh, no, you're not the one somebody needs to be pouring into every day. She doesn't need to be a catch-all for somebody.
Hmm.
That's a
That makes sense.
therapist. That's your girlfriend. But as somebody who said, man, sis, I need to, ooh, let me holler at you real quick, and it's going to be okay. She's not going to portray that trust. I consider that a safe space. Other people might not.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, Derek, I always appreciate your dialogue. I think that you are
Thank you
absolutely
very much.
brilliant. So I'm going to take you off. If you have to drop off, that's fine. But if not, can you stick around for a little bit?
Oh yeah, I'll be around.
All right. Well, thank you. All right. Boom. So we have V. What's going on, Vernon?
Hey,
V.
what's up? What's up, Lisa? Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. How are you?
We've been working pretty hard down here, I guess, trying to clean up from them storms that passed through Florida.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Is your family safe?
Yeah, it was out of power for a little bit down in Tampa area and stuff for a while, and one's in Orlando, but they holding up. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So elaborate. So now I know that you are divorced. How long have you
Yep.
been divorced?
Ooh, we got divorced like in '99.
Oh,
1999, like Prince was talking about. He
Okay, all
said,
right. So you wasn't partying like it was 1999. You was signing papers, the papers.
but we went back and forth together. We stayed. We still wasn't officially done with each other until like 2008. You know, I know, right?
You
And
kept
we
going back, huh?
yeah, we had 2 other kids in between time too. But
Oh, that's right. Okay, okay. So with all that being said, you would get married again?
I would, but man, like I said, in terms and conditions, it's really deep out here nowadays. I don't. Mm, females today, I don't know. I don't. Everybody got. I don't know. I guess they're scared of giving up their space.
Oh yeah. Okay. 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 Are they moving too fast? Right. Like you was talking
I
about
don't.
a few of your little prospects.
Nah, I think everybody about scared to act right. Tell you the truth,
Okay.
they don't think they don't think they capable of You know what I'm saying? Acting right. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's just like a relationship. And I
Mm-hmm.
had people tell me that I'm too good for
That just mean they don't want to act right.
them. Exactly.
That mean that they gonna be toxic as hell. They ain't gonna act right. So if somebody tell you, nah, I'm just saying. Some people when they tell you that, they
For
ain't gonna act
real. That's it. That's the only thing I can get out of it.
right.
But it's hard, you know what I'm saying? I don't. Hey, everybody really do want to be married again, but hey, it's going. Guess you have to wait it out. And you know how
Absolutely.
women say they wait for waiting for the Lord to send them a good man.
Mm-hmm.
You done heard that, haven't you?
Yeah, I heard it. I didn't probably said it 50, 11 times.
Mm-hmm. I guess men about the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So I don't know. That's deep. I don't know. It seems like
So
everybody's scared. I don't know. They scared to be in. I don't know.
I think some people have, maybe some people have like some form of PTSD when it comes to relationships and commitments because of maybe some of the traumatic. Because let's just be real, some of the things you experience in a relationship can be very traumatic, be very traumatizing. I can attest. I ain't gonna lie to kick it like I ain't never been through nothing in a relationship. You feel me? So that can kind of jade you in how you move, right?
Men very simple. I think women want a lot these days. I don't know.
What? Mm, okay. Okay.
What Lisa?
Nah, nah.
We
That's
simple.
cool. That's cool.
We want three S's.
What is that?
The one is a sandwich and submission.
And what else? Sandwich submission. And what else?
Wait, that's it. And and the day I was at a truck stop and I told these women, I said, why women so all we want is something simple. Just we want the woman to what? They said, what? Obey. They all stopped working, said obey.
Oh, I'm surprised you made it back. You didn't get beat
I
up.
made sure they made my own sub first.
Say, you know what? You ain't right. You ain't right.
Hey, look though, obey. And all we do is provide and protect.
Mm.
Protect is more dangerous. We put our life on the line. All we
Yeah.
want is, but I don't want to say like obey. It ain't really, it's just trust and respect, really. That's all it
But you know what? I mean, honestly, like, and Leah says sex. Okay, so that's the
is.
other S. For those that didn't know. Okay, so boom. I don't think obey and submission is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me be careful because I don't want the DMs. All I'm saying is like it doesn't necessarily mean doormat. Okay? It doesn't
That's
necessarily
right.
mean doormat. So I'll just leave it at that. That'll be a whole nother show. That'll be a whole nother show.
Ooh,
Hold
that's deep.
on. Miss Woodson says obey. See,
I'm
Vernon,
gonna
don't come on
change
here
that.
starting stuff.
I'm gonna change that. Just respect. That's all. That's it.
Derek says the other S sanity. Yeah, y'all want y'all sanity and peace too, right?
Hey, look.
Look, hold on. Leah says, I don't feel safe.
Well, well, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
See, Bernie, you get on here starting stuff.
I'm from the South. We do that down here quite a bit.
All right. So Miss Woodson says, prayers to the families in the hurricane storms. Absolutely. Love and light. Love and light. Because I know that
Yeah.
there's several that are rebuilding. So let's see
Yeah.
here. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Yeah, see, fam feels there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Mwanda Woodson says, I'll submit if you're leading correctly. This goes,
Exactly.
it's like yin and yang, hand in hand, right?
Protect and
Ebony and
serve.
ivory, right? It just goes together.
Mm-hmm.
Leah says, no.
No.
You don't submit, cousin Leah. You not gonna submit. You ain't doing it. You ain't gonna obey. You come on, fam. You know you be obeying that baby. Whatever that baby wants you to do, you gonna obey. You gonna do it. Say you ain't. All right. Well, that's what's up. Is there anything else you want to add, V?
Nah, I'm good. I'm here trying to get my yellow rice right, my fish.
Okay. Okay. What you frying some fish?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind? What kind of fish?
Woo, it's from a fish farm. People don't like that tilapia.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
what's up. That's what's up.
but that's
All
what's
right. All
up.
right. Well,
Obey,
thank you for joining me. What were you gonna say?
obey.
So you starting stuff.
All right, Miss Lisa, you have a good one now.
Okay.
I
Thank you so much for
check
joining
you
me.
out.
Absolutely. Okay, boom. So let's see here. So Leah says, I'll submit, but it will go. How much is going to cost, cuz? What are we talking about? So is there a price on submitting? What that look like? Let me know, fam. All right, so boom. Okay, so let's see here. Who else do I have in the studio? All right, I'm going to bring Music Man on for a minute before we move to our next topic. Music Man, are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm here. Go
So, do you
ahead.
have any views, any thoughts?
I mean, I can touch on like about all those topics. I mean, really, I mean, when it comes to like men and wanting to remarry, I think a lot of the fear comes from not just the emotional assets that you lose from being connected with somebody, especially if you've been in a long-term marriage, but it's the financial resources that men begin to lose in those situations. So oftentimes people are like, man, I got to start over. I lost my house, my car. Sometimes the credit gets messed up. So a lot of men are fearful of being in that situation because of that. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and rightfully so, because some, marriages are messy. Divorces are messy, from time to time, not always, but there are situations where, you find yourself like, I don't ever want to go through that ever again. And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to build that trust when you've been burned by somebody, that you poured your heart into. And so you
Absolutely,
have to
that you've taken
reflect.
vows with. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you thought that something was going to be forever, and then it turns into a never again, and so you have to work through that. And then there are so many different layers. If you have children, you have to work through that. So it's a lot that men invest into it, and the women don't. But that's the reason. Some of the reasons why men would kind of go against it, and they rather say, play it safe, even though being in any relationship, living girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, sometimes those situations can become just as toxic. But at least with those, you can kind of walk away with a marriage. You have vows, you have a license where you have assets together that you have to split up when you go through those divorces. So
Mm.
it's scary. It's a gamble,
Yeah,
trying to
absolutely.
again. So
Absolutely. Yeah, they can be very messy. Like, I'm pretty open with mine. Mine wasn't that messy. It was
yeah,
uncontested to the point. Listen, let's just be done with this thing. You
yeah,
can have an Xbox. I don't even care. You can have it. I ain't trip. You can have it. And all the
absolutely.
games, all the
Oh
downloads.
yeah.
Absolutely. So let's see here. So we have a comment here. So Derek says, Leah, if you're married, didn't he already pay for Derek, you starting it tonight. You starting it. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so I do have another question that came across. All right, so
Okay.
This question is, okay, so let's see. Genesis asked a question. Okay, so Genesis, how long should they wait after divorce to date? Why do so many not move on? Hmm.
Mm. That's a case by case, based on your healing process and, really elevating yourself past that situation. So there's no cookie cutter answer to that, but it's based on, you going through your healing journey and being a better version of yourself past that hurt and that trauma that you're going through. Because, not a lot of men will admit it, but when you go through a divorce, it takes a toll on you, emotionally, not just financially. Um, so for every person, it's going to be different. For some people, it may be a year, some people, maybe 6 years, some people, maybe 10 years. So it's just how that impacted that specific person going through those ebbs and flows of that relationship. And so, but the key is that you have to lean on, resources to get past that and learn how to trust it and make yourself, attract things that's going to be beneficial to you. Because again, you can go in that perpetual cycle of the same relationships over and over with different faces, but
Mhm.
spiritually, you mirror the same person over and over if you don't heal, because you'll keep
That's very
attracting the
true.
same things and over and over.
That's very true. I can totally agree with that. And that's one reason why I definitely decided to take time. After my divorce, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get outside, but not outside, right? So just to take time to heal, process things, because a divorce is truly, well, for me, it was like a death, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
you still go through the process and everything. So I say it's that I agree with you. It's definitely a case by case. And sometimes people, they get the divorce, they finalize it, but they was already done. Sometimes you be in a whole same household and you already done. You didn't already
Yes,
checked out,
and
right? You
even
didn't
more
already
so,
started your healing journey.
yeah, and
So I mean that's why it's
oftentimes,
definitely a case by case. But hold on though. We do have a couple of comments. So Leah says, I said I never remarried unless they checked off every box. My new husband checked boxes I didn't even know I wanted. And she also says, Derek, don't get me cranked up. Don't do it, Derek. Don't get Leah started. Don't do it. So Derek says men tend to take failed relationships harder than women, likely due to how much we invest in having limited outlets for purging the negatives. That makes sense.
absolutely,
That absolutely
absolutely,
makes sense.
yeah, and that's one of those things. It takes a lot for men. Not saying the women don't have a lot as far as rebuilding process, because again, when it comes to divorce, typically women get all the resources when it comes to houses and all the assets. So it's a lot. It's a costly risk for a man to say, all right, I'm gonna try this love thing again and get involved into a marriage when that I can have part two of that same thing I just went through. And we live in a world where people are in it for themselves. So we live in a selfish world. So you have to be very cognitive of the decisions you're making, who you're making connections with. But also, I do think that you want to set healthy boundaries, but not put up walls, because oftentimes I feel like people, they blur those lines and they think they're putting up, boundaries, but when they're really putting up walls, and that's not healthy either. So you have to, pray, get a good understanding of yourself and what you want. And you have to make that known, for your next relationship, to say, hey, these are the things that I want to have in my relationship, and make, you know, your top 10 list of non-negotiables of things that you want in your life, but also be open to things that, to know that, hey, we're all imperfect beings. But at the same rate, you have to understand that you have to, balance the equation and say, okay, I can deal with this, but I can't deal with that. So it's, you're not going to get everything you want in a person, because nobody's perfect, but you can work through it and definitely have a admirable relationship with somebody, and move on. But you have to heal first, because then
Absolutely.
you attract what you are. I
Oh
truly
yeah,
believe that.
definitely. Where you
Yeah.
vibrating at, that's what you're gonna vibrate to you. Like that's what you're gonna attract to you. For
Uh,
me, for me,
yeah.
I'll just speak for myself, right? So that's
Ab-
why it's important to do the work. And Tammy here says, I think we need to do shadow work before getting into a relationship. We need healing to think too. I think I totally agree with that, especially that shadow work, because that shadow work, woo, yeah, I would definitely agree. You definitely need to do the work and do the healing. But this is what I'm going to do, Reese. I'm going to take you off of here for a little bit. I want to get one last topic, right? Because, hey, you know how I be around this time. You know what I'm
All right,
saying?
now get angry. No, I'm just
Right.
messing.
So I'm going to take you off. Feel free to stick around, okay? If you got to drop
Word.
off, it's all Gucci. All right?
All right.
All right, boom. So there were a few more comments, and like I said, I like to bring everyone on. I have Breon Nichols. Thanks for joining me. Good evening. Much love from KWU podcast out of Chester, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for joining me. Absolutely. And much love and light to you and your podcast as well. All right. Okay, boom. So let's see here. Oh, thanks for joining us, Kim. Hello to you too, ma'am. I really appreciate that. So let's see here. So Miss Whitson says, agree with the healing before remarriage and growth. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it is definitely important to do the work. And, and I feel like healing is an ongoing journey, right? So get yourself to the point where you can actually receive and be with another person, if that's what you desire anyway. So let's see here. So Leah says he is currently paying for my because you crack me up. He is currently paying for my submission. We're married. It will never end. Okay. All right, boom. So let's see here. So Derek says shadow work, light work, and homework. You hear me? Absolutely. Absolutely. And Leah says, I always act right around the holidays. Y'all not going to get me in trouble. Absolutely. Fam, we're not trying to get you in trouble. We want you to have a very happy holiday. So Leah says, right. I just be talking crazy. I'm cooking dinner and getting controlled by a 2-year. I told you. I told you, cousin, be obeying that 2-year-old. All right, boom. So yeah, I want to move to this last topic and then we're going to get out of here, okay? The last topic that I want to talk about, it was kind of disturbing. So let me go ahead and share this really quickly so that you all can see this post. Let's see here. This one was really disturbing. So I warn anyone that may be triggered by this. Okay, so man tells his girlfriend, your 18-year-old daughter has to move out. I'm a man and she's shaped just like you. Okay. So that was a post that was put in the group. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Mark Lee. Okay. Uh, hi Mark, how are you?
I'm doing good over here at the HI Center. We got a concert going on with a South African guitarist and all along those lines. So we got things happening here at the center. But yeah, that post was disturbing because I don't care what the girl looks like. You don't need to be trying to step to your significant other's daughter, even if she's 18 and starting to develop and all along those lines. So yeah, that is highly disturbing. So I agree with you on that because you don't need to be stepping to nobody just because they are maturing and getting older and all along those lines because we know that people mature and all in that space. But yeah, that's not cool, not cool at all.
Absolutely. And the comments on that post, most people agreed that it was very inappropriate. People were saying that she needs to leave her man, and it's very inappropriate for him to look at her daughter that way. Um, yeah, so that was someone else says kids should not leave home at 18. My unpopular opinion, right? So that was pretty much across the board. The
No, I think that's across
comments
the
for
board.
that post.
Yeah. No, I think that's across the board. I mean, definitely people want their older folks, once they turn 18 or 19, to be thinking about leaving. But, sometimes people are in college and sometimes the college might even be in your own town and all along those lines. So I don't know that you need to be pushing them out at 18 either, because there might be reasons that they are staying in town, including the fact that it ain't hard and it's not easy in this world. I shouldn't say it ain't hard, but it ain't easy in this world for young people to make it. So I don't have any problem with young people staying in order to make it in society, in order to get a financial break and all along those lines. So that's what I'm thinking the young lady is doing. She's 18. She's just now getting into the adult world and everything. And sometimes that's a time that they got to get their own fiscal situation together. So I don't know that you need to just push them out and all along those lines.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I totally, totally agree with that. Yeah, and that's a definite red flag. And I feel like there was a comment on the post where it was saying that, thank goodness he gave her a warning, right? because sometimes, there's instances where people get married and the person may be a pedophile or whatever, mistreat the children. So I think I do agree that it's a good thing that he gave her a warning. So hopefully she takes heed to that and she moves on that, because that can be pretty traumatizing, especially if he's already feeling sexual feelings towards his soon to be possible stepdaughter. That's very disturbing. A conversation
Yep.
definitely needs to be had. I mean, you know what, at this point, just exit stage left, because
Yep.
you know although I wasn't blessed with children, at the end of the day, I feel like you only have one shot, right? So you have to protect that baby as much as you can, right? So,
Yep. Definitely agree
all
with that.
right. So we are getting to the end of the show. Is there any last remarks that you have, Mark, before we peace
No, that
out
was
of here?
about
I
it.
do
Like
my
I said,
spill.
I'm just glad to be out at this event. And if you were here, I'd be telling you about it, and you'd be attending it. Because, like I said, it is a South African guitarist, and he's doing some masterful music. But we always have things going on at this cultural arts center. So I got to get you over here so that you can check out some of the artwork and some of the things that we have taking place here. 'Cause like I said, it's a concert going on, and there's even artwork, and we've got dancers that'll be here on November 10th. So one of these days, I got to get you away from Indiana so you can see all of the amazing things that are taking place here in North Carolina.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Hey, listen, I got my passport now, so shoot, I'm about to get me some stamps. You hear me? I'm about
All
to see
right.
the world.
Come on over to North Carolina. I'll show you the world and show you at least some of the things that we've got going on here at this cultural arts center, as well as just general and things happening in town. So I look forward to you making a visit at some point.
Absolutely. I've never have I been to North Carolina? No,
Cool.
I think it was South Carolina that I went to. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Mark Lee.
No
All
problem.
right,
As
so
you know,
stick around.
I will.
All right. All right. Okay, boom. So we have a few comments, and then y'all, we are going to get out of here. All right, so let's see here. Derek says pushing kids out at 18 is sometimes too soon. Other times they never leave. Still being turned on by your stepdaughter. You should go, bro. I absolutely agree. Like that is very concerning. That's so sick. She needs to run. I hope she does run, because that is very, very concerning. Like you have to protect your kids. Like, so I totally agree with that. All right, all right, all right. So yeah, we have reached the end of the hour. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate all the comments and you all taking time to spend with me tonight. All my guests in the studio, y'all know I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so y'all, I got to do my spiel, right? Mama, Aunt Anna, thank you so much for listening tonight. I really appreciate that. Okay. Also, please make sure that you are liking, following across all platforms. On YouTube is Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period in there, right? And then on IG is Relationship Soup. On Facebook, Relationship Soup Group. Come and join the group. Come and add to some of those posts. I actually talk about some of those posts in the group. All right. So please do that. If you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC, or you can look me up under my name. And then, of course, for your greeting card needs, please go to relationshipsoup.com. Again, thank you all for joining me. And of course, like every week, you have to love yourself, right? And as far as healing, because I feel like a lot of people are healing from stuff that they don't talk about, give yourself some grace, right? Healing is an ongoing journey. You're worthy of healing. You're worthy of grace. So give yourself those things. All right. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I love y'all. See y'all next week. If you ever want to be a guest, hit me up, DM me. All right. Other than that, see you all next week. Peace.